Morning, everybody. Beautiful day here in Oswego, isn't it? I think it's beautiful every time we get folks coming to Oswego. At least the mayor orders that up on Friday, and he seems to deliver every time. My name is Nathan Emmons, and I'm the Director of Economic Development for the City of Oswego. I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you on behalf of Mayor Barlow and the City of Oswego for attending this morning. As the Director of Economic Development, I've been able to assist in making this project come to life over the past 18 months, and we are so excited to unveil the finished product and share it with the community. Please do your best to practice social distancing during the ceremony, and for the members of the media, Mayor Barlow will be able to take questions following the ribbon cutting today. I'd like to take a few moments and recognize some special guests that we have in our audience today. First of all, President of the Oswego Common Council, Robert Cordino, and many of the other councilors, thank you for coming today. Assemblyman Will Barkley, thank you for coming today as well. Appreciate that. We do have some county legislators here as well. We have Lori Magano, Tim Stahl, Terry Wilbur, and Morris Obello. Thank you guys for coming. I think that's got them all. We also have the Commissioner of New York State Office of General Services, Rowan Destito, and from the Department of Transportation, Assistant Commissioner Sean Hennessy. Thank you for coming as well. And lastly, our very special guest this morning, New York State Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. Kathy Hochul is the 77th Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York. She previously served as a member of her local town board, Erie County Clerk, and as a member of Congress. She is no stranger to Oswego, having visited several times in the last few years to celebrate our recent development and success in downtown and along our waterfront. She has been a strong supporter of all of our downtown and waterfront projects from the beginning through her significant roles with the Regional Economic Development Council and the READY program. And without her advocacy and her belief in Oswego, none of these projects would have been possible. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. And I know Nathan talks about my official trips to this area. You don't know how often that's me sitting at Rudy's or at the press box or just walking down the streets. Literally on my own, my husband and I have stopped in this spectacular community because I love showing off to him all my favorite places. Now, it's like being the mother of a very big family. I'm not supposed to play favorites, but I come here a lot. Okay, I love this area, and I want to thank everyone who brought us here today. First of all, the individuals who had the vision to help bring back this community after some horrific damage had been done by our so-called 100-year events, flooding events, that somehow happened every 2 years. And I want to thank Rowan Destito for what she did in joining with the READY Commission convened by the governor to bring stakeholders together, representatives from the Department of Transportation, Commissioner Dominguez. These individuals worked really hard and worked hard with our local officials to figure out how we build back, but build back even stronger. We don't need to go back to the way it was. We learned during the flooding events, we learned during this pandemic. There's no sense in looking backwards when you're looking for a vision for the future. This region, this area, this Marina represents a fabulous vision for the future, and it was executed here during a pandemic, which I want to thank all the workers, everyone who had a shovel or had a role in planning this, and anyone who had a role in just creating this incredible space. I want to thank them for putting themselves out there. It is much safer to stay home and just hunker down during a pandemic and watch a lot of Netflix. A lot of people did that. But others showed up. Others showed up on job sites like this. And we came out here in August during the pandemic and talked about how we're going to try and do this even with all these setbacks. And you got it done. So I just want to tell you personally, I'm in awe of that accomplishment. And Mayor, you got it done with your leadership. And I want to thank you on behalf of all the people of the state of New York, not just the residents who know this area well, but to all the people of the state who are going to discover Oswego. And they're going to know it the way I know it, as an incredible place to live, to work, to recreate, to raise your families. Because you have so many assets here. First of all, you have the energy of a SUNY campus, a community this size. This is a rarity to have a community this small that has a vibrant university campus where the young people are coming and going. They want to be part of the downtown opportunities, and also to possibly be graduates from another part of the state or elsewhere who realize this is a place to start their home, start their family. So this is an incredible attraction. But the history we have here, positioned at the Oswego River and Lake Ontario, the history of the battles that went on up this area, the safe harbor. I toured the safe harbor in times for the 75th anniversary of that incredible story of a community welcoming people who had seen the worst of humanity. They came to this community for a new life, and many of them stayed as well. Also, the Maritime Museum. I literally have a coffee mug from there. I had my tea this morning, pretty early in the morning, and I just was reflecting on all the charm of this area. But then you have this downtown. This downtown is exploding, my friends. There is the before and after. This should be on some TV show, one of those makeover shows. I mean, what you've done here is incredible, because we walk through, and sometimes during cold winter days we took a golf cart through, and we're always exploring and trying to see what we could do to bring back affordable housing and marketplace housing downtown, to have a world-class children's museum. And I don't have any grandkids yet. That's a hint to my kids in their 30s. I mean, I'd be really good taking them to all these children's museums, but they're phenomenal. I remember meeting a little girl when I was there, and she just said, she came up and grabbed my hand. She says, "Can you bring me back here all the time now? Can you bring?" I was like, "Hey, anytime you want, sweetheart, I'll take you here," because I could just see through their eyes how special this was. But it's educational. It's not just to play there. It's also to learn and to engage. And what a wonderful attraction that is. To have a bookstore. I've gone to the bookstore countless times, and so I know you know this. I'm not telling you what you don't know. I'm telling you what I want other people to know. And I talk about this community nonstop. So when you see a spike in people contacting the Chamber of Commerce and checking in the hotels, and just give me a little credit for that, because I've been talking about this even in Manhattan. I said, "Have you been up to Oswego? Have you seen this place?" And so what we're here today for is to celebrate a new milestone for this community, to say that a community that is deserving of a great reputation also deserves to have a waterfront that is something that boaters and people who recreate on the waterfront will talk about all over this country. This is what this community needed. You needed a world-class marina. When I came here my first time, I came down the marina, I said, "Yeah, we could do a little bit better than that. We can do a little bit better than that." And you did. And I'm a boater, so I'm very particular about my marinas. And I look for certain attractions. First of all, it is just beautiful here. The setting is so peaceful and it's so welcoming. And I want to thank everyone involved in just envisioning this beautiful space. And I will come back in my boat. Don't know when I'll ever have the time, because I live in Buffalo, and if it wasn't for Niagara Falls, I could just kind of zip over here, but I have to get around the falls. So I'd have to take the Welland Canal, come up a couple hundred miles, maybe 150 miles. I was actually looking at it yesterday, but someday I'll give you the heads up, Mayor. You'll owe me a drink at Rudy's, because I'll be awfully tired if I make that journey. But that's just what we have to offer here. The gateway to the Thousand Islands, the access, you can get all the way down to Toronto on a boat from here, and down to Rochester and Sackett's Harbor and all these beautiful areas. So we're going to be sending off boaters from this beautiful place and welcoming them as well. What we've accomplished here is a $3.1 million project, and we've raised the boat launch, the pavilion, the access road, the parking lot, and the slips and the docks were redesigned and expanded to serve even more boaters. You're going to have a lot of demand for these slips. Telling you right now, a lot of demand for these improvements made to the landscaping. I also do want to compliment you. You always have lovely I go to a lot of podiums outside. No one brings flowers like you do here. I mean, so who's in charge? Is Nathan? Whoever does it. It's lovely. It's a very nice touch. You had them there last time. But aren't they nice? Aren't they nice? Yeah, Ryan sees a lot of these too. Like, no one does it like you do at Oswego.
Does it like that.
That's right. But all these improvements, I mean, they're just words on a piece of paper right now. They enhance the experience, and that's going to make more people talk about this place. And it's really something that you should be proud of in this community. And I'm so proud that the state of New York could take this on, in addition to other projects that we're doing here, the Wright Park and the International Pier. You combine these three projects together, This is work that probably should have been done a long time ago, and maybe it took Mother Nature to really jumpstart this. So in that sense, thank you, Mother Nature, but enough is enough. We got the point. We don't need any more flooding, but if it does happen again, my friends, we are ready for it. We've built back in a way that's resilient. We won't have to shut down the boat docks and marina like we had to do a few years past. So this is a fabulous day. I'm delighted to be here. I will come back again many, many times, and I want to congratulate everyone involved in this amazing project, particularly the mayor and all the other downtown revitalization projects that we talked about as well. But at this moment, I have the opportunity, the privilege, to introduce a true public servant, of someone who has dedicated her life to the people of her community as an elected official, but now for the last many years as the governor's commissioner of Office of General Services. You don't even know what that means until you really get into her offices and see that she has a hand in literally everything that happens in this state. But during a pandemic, it was the people that she marshaled, like a general in an army, trying to get supplies, life-saving supplies all around the state of New York, and she did a fabulous job during the pandemic, in addition to overseeing all the public buildings in the entire state of New York and many other things. So I'm in awe of this woman. She is a superhero of mine, and I want to introduce at this time our fabulous Office of General Services Commissioner, Roanne DiStito.
God, we're flying away here. And this isn't staying. So you want to do something? Okay. Can we
tighten that up a little bit?
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Getcha.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. And I think we need another round of applause for the Lieutenant Governor, who is everywhere in this state, representing our administration in such a wonderful way and getting things done all over the state. And that goes from down in New York Harbor up to Oswego Harbor. So thank you. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for all of your work and dedication. She's like the Energizer bunny. She's everywhere. It's great to be back in Oswego with the Lieutenant Governor and our state and local partners to announce this incredible ready milestone with a ribbon cutting at Wright's Landing Marina. My partner, Commissioner Dominguez, is not able to be with us today. We have a representative, but we worked very closely together, DOT Commissioner and the OGS Commissioner. We were here in Oswego. I think I was in Oswego more than I was anywhere else. We really came back, and I just allow me to thank President Stanley. I know she's retiring from SUNY Oswego, but she actually hosted us on many, many occasions for all of our meetings. I know many of you in the audience were at those meetings. She did a great job, and I want to thank her and wish her well in her retirement. So thank you. But the building of a better and stronger future for communities along Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River is happening today because of Governor Cuomo and Lieutenant Governor Hochul's commitment to all of our shoreline communities. I was one of these 11 state agency commissioners that helped guide a robust community engagement process to identify the assets at risk in flood-prone communities in this region. That summer, we organized 25 stakeholders and community meetings and workshops with hundreds of community residents, and I see a lot of familiar faces, and we had more than 15 planning committees meetings. And together we came up with transformative projects that would protect, improve, and build resiliency in towns, cities, and villages. These projects are benefiting the people who live, work, run businesses, and seek out recreational opportunities in places such as here in the city of Oswego. And as I drive through the city of Oswego, I see all of the READY projects, the DRI projects, and all of the construction that's happening, and Oswego is on the move. After all the work the state and local leaders, especially Mayor Barlow, put into those efforts, it is incredibly gratifying when we see what has been accomplished here at Wright's Landing, as well as the stabilization and renovation work that is now occurring at the nearby International Pier. This is collaboration. It's successful between the state and those local communities of these ready projects is really worth celebrating. I want to congratulate Mayor Barlow, the City Council, for embarking on and now completing this fantastic ready project. This was it was a great privilege to be a part of this ready program and to represent the Cayuga and Oswego County projects. We've seen a lot going on. The mayor came in with his projects and he's getting them done. I want to thank each and every one of you, and Mayor, thanks for all the hard work. It's now a privilege for me to introduce New York State Department of Transportation Assistant Commissioner Sean Hennessy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Yes, Sean Hennessy, Assistant Commissioner with New York State DOT. I did want to thank Lieutenant Governor and Commissioner DeCito for bringing in the great weather. I know we had a major storm that came through, but the clouds aren't gutsy enough to group up today with these two folks in the room. So thank you very much, everybody. And I do want to say a big thank you before I start my remarks. I was here on Friday, just wanted to kind of check things out. I had been back for a little while. I came through and Tom Kells and the DPW team back there were here just doing the final touches on getting things ready for the event today. So Tom, thank you. All of our friends at DPW, thank you for the incredible work that you did for us getting everything ready today. Thank you. So as I mentioned before, I'm Sean Hennessy, Assistant Commissioner with New York State DOT, and I'm here on the behalf of my Commissioner, Marie-Therese Dominguez. And what an honor it is here to be with you today. This is a great day and a historic milestone for the city of Oswego's waterfront. Today we're announcing the completion of the work to create a more resilient Wright's Landing Marina. Thanks to this project, the marina is now better able to handle any weather that Mother Nature happens to throw at it. This project did more than simply just fortify the marina and the surrounding properties from future flood and extreme weather events. Working together with the city of Oswego, we also increased opportunities for residents and visitors alike to take full advantage of this glorious waterfront. It created a world-class destination for boaters that will boost recreation and spur the economic growth of the city as a whole. So what did we do here today? So what we did was we repaired and redesigned the docks to accommodate more boaters. We raised the elevation of the marina structure, including the boat launch and the pavilion areas, to compensate for higher water levels. And we installed the bioretention areas to our left here to hold and filter rainwater. Very innovative. We also created a new pedestrian boardwalk so that more people can enjoy this glorious lakeshore. You know, it goes without saying that Governor Cuomo's Ready initiative has been very good to Oswego. Earlier this spring, we broke ground on a $9.5 million resiliency project at the International Pier that is behind me that will protect and convert this historic structure into a pedestrian-friendly open space that's connected to the city's walking trails. The Port of Oswego, which is adjacent to us here, which handles more than 1 million tons of cargo each year, is a recipient of 5 Ready initiatives, totaling more than $2.3 million, which will harden its infrastructure and make it so that it will allow the port to remain a global competitor. These projects and others planned as Governor Cuomo's Ready initiative shows how New York State is not just committed to building back, but to building back better. And in a way, it leaves us more prepared for the future and more able to leverage our precious natural assets for the betterment of all of our communities. Thanks to Governor Cuomo's leadership, these are exciting times for our lakeshore communities, and our Department of Transportation is just very, very thankful to be a partner in this effort. So thank you very much for having me. I do want to thank the mayor and all of our city partners for this incredible event, and I'd like to offer the podium to the dear mayor of our city, Mayor Barlow.
Thank you very much. I'd like to obviously thank everybody for attending and taking time out of their day to be here. First, thank you to Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. As she mentioned, she has visited Oswego several times and survived a dangerous golf cart ride in the icy rain, among many other hazards that we've been through, but we've actually been able to deliver great projects, and she usually comes to announce the groundbreaking of projects, and now we're getting to the ribbon cutting phase of projects. So it's getting more and more exciting every time she's here, and I just want to take a moment to thank her for her continued support and advocacy for our community and the support Governor Cuomo and his administration have shown Oswego over the last 5 years. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Commissioner DeStito was a great partner all throughout the planning process. She co-chaired with Commissioner Marie-Therese Dominguez the Cayuga County and Oswego County planning process, and we were much like herding cats at times. And finally, at one point, both co-chairs and commissioners had to rein us all in and pound their fist on the table and said, "Okay, you know, we're going to go item by item down this entire list so we can stop with the back and forth and just get that done." And it took really that bold step and in her leadership to rein everybody in and come up with a final project list that actually will deliver real results for municipalities and protect municipalities and give people along the shoreline in Oswego County and Cayuga County more activities and more reasons to visit the waterfront. So thank you, Commissioner, for your leadership, and please pass along my thanks to Commissioner Dominguez. Mr. Hennessy, I appreciate that. There's no denying that Oswego is in the midst of a full-scale transformation, and you drive through downtown, you see all the work all the developments taking place because of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. We just recently opened a splash pad and a mini golf course, and we're doing constant improvements to our parks, adding Lakeside Park, an ADA accessible playground at Hamilton Park, and there's progress happening in every corner of this community. And finally, in 2019, we had to turn our attention to the waterfront, and after 30, 40 years of stagnation, try to inject some energy and do some full-scale, large-scale improvements to our waterfront area. And as we stand here today, it may be a bit difficult to think about exactly what this place looked like 5 years ago today, or 4 years ago, even last year at this time. Since 2017, Wright's Landing Marina has had to be totally closed or partially closed 4 out of the 5 years because of the flooding from the new water management plan in Lake Ontario. There were several years right in a row where we had to close the marina or had to open it much later because the parking lot where we're sitting right now was under 2 feet of water. The kayak launch and the parking lot, the middle parking lot, was completely underwater. In fact, all told, since 2017 and the new water management plan, the city incurred over $5.5 million of damage to municipal space because of the erosion and the flooding. So we had a real problem on our hands. And thankfully, Governor Cuomo stepped up and proposed $300 million for municipalities along Lake Ontario. Assemblyman Barkley and the state legislature quickly approved that funding. And I would just like to offer a round of applause to Assemblyman Barkley and to Governor Cuomo and the state legislature for making that funding available and to provide direct assistance to municipalities and homeowners along the lake. So thank you. New York was really the first state. You know, the Great Lakes, there's more than one, and there's several states that border the Great Lakes, and New York was certainly the first state to step up and come up with such a plan and such assistance to municipalities and homeowners suffering along the lakes. They're still the only state to date stepping up the way they did in such a big way with $300 million and state resources to help improve the condition along the lake and implement mitigation and preparedness and recovery efforts all along the lake to be prepared for flooding down the road. And that's one distinction that's important to draw. We had the federal government who simply said, just here's some money, fix some areas, but just repair it to what it was, exactly how it was before the flooding, which really wasn't even worth doing because it was just going to be flooded again and again and again, and the money that the federal government wanted to spend would have been spent and the projects would have happened, but they would have been damaged the next year and the next year and the next year. So there really was no strategy to that approach. But the state's approach was different. The state's approach was, here's some resources. Just don't just repair damage and don't restore it back to what it was, but actually look at the silver lining in all of this and take this money and take these resources and make your waterfront a place it has never been before. Build it higher than it was before and add in some economic assets and public amenities so that more people will come to your waterfront, and your waterfront will be an economic tool and a real asset that the rest of the community can leverage. So I appreciate that strategy, and that was really all I needed to hear, because we actually had plans on the shelf ready to go, and that's one important point that I want to make is the projects you're seeing both collectively and individually within the marina and out at International Pier are homegrown projects. As soon as we took office in 2016, we held a waterfront feasibility study, and we had several public meetings where we met with all the stakeholders, the sailors, the boaters, the charter captains, the waterfront business owners, the Oswego residents. And we got them all together several times and asked, what do you want to see in our marina? How can we get more boaters here? You spend your summer on the lake. I certainly don't. Most of the time spend my summer in a concession stand working at the New York State Fair. But so I don't know what it's going to take to bring boaters here, but you do. So tell us what it's going to take. So as you look around at this project and all the new additions and public amenities, that's what the waterfront community here in Oswego asked for. They said the reason why a lot of people don't stop at Wright's Landing Marina is because you don't have fuel available. So now we have fuel. The quality and condition of your restroom and shower facilities, they're in desperate need of repair and upgrades. So now you have our restroom, shower facilities totally renovated. We resurfaced the docks. That was another complaint. We're installing a all-inclusive pavilion with kitchen amenities, furniture, television for people to use. We installed a fire patio seating area to try to get boaters off the boat, and if they want to come have some drinks here on land, they can do that. We put in a welcome center and a gift shop, so when people get off their boat here at Wright's Landing, they can hit the iPad and talk to our staff and know where to go. They can know that Gibby's is 200 feet that way if you want to have a drink, or the Children's Museum is 5 blocks up West First Street if you need to take your kids somewhere. So there's a lot happening, and it's all because we all got together as a team. All the entire waterfront community came together with a direct message and what we needed to do, and we were able to make the most of a bad situation with the flooding along the lake, and partner with state government to be able to deliver a great product and results for the people here in Oswego. So I'm very proud of the project, and I hope after this ceremony you can all take a minute to walk around and see all the changes. These projects together, in addition to the project at the International Pier, will finally allow Oswego to be that waterfront community we've tried to be for 30 and 40 years. It's no secret among Oswego residents that we've always failed to capitalize on our waterfront. But those days are long gone as we finally cut the ribbon on Wright's Landing, and as excited as I am about Wright's Landing, I'm even more excited for what I think that International Pier project and transforming that into a pedestrian boardwalk is going to do for our waterfront in this community. Finally, this project was a really big undertaking. $3.5 million here at Wright's Landing. The pier's well over $10 million. So there's a lot of stuff happening in addition to what city government has to offer all the time. And it takes a real team effort here to pull off projects of this scale. So I want to first and foremost thank the economic development team, Nate Emmons, Tim Stahl, Amy Murphy, who helped to secure the grants back in 2019 and work to administer the grants and get our reimbursements and make sure we're in compliance with how to spend grant money. It's very time consuming, it's very cumbersome, and it takes a lot of work. So I appreciate their help. The Oswego Fire Department, they've actually been in charge of administering the FEMA funds for the city of Oswego, Chief Griffin and Deputy Chief Paul Canzone. So they've had a direct hand in this project and the pier project. We couldn't have done it without their support, and working to blend the two pools of funding together, FEMA and READY, made sure that it was an organized process, and as a city we were able to get the most bang for our buck out of the two allocations. City engineer Jeff Hinderlaters provide reliable support, and lastly Tom Kells Chantel Manwaring. Chantel is actually in charge of the flowers, and she always does a great job. And the entire city DPW. The only reason we're standing here today, one of the first major ready projects to cut a ribbon along Lake Ontario, is because Tom Kells has worked to build capability within our local DPW. While all these other municipalities are subbing out and contracting out and doing bids to be able to do projects like this project and like the splash pad and like the improvements in downtown, he's built capability here in our DPW so that we can do these projects in-house. So this project and where we're sitting today was originally budgeted to be over $6 million. We're coming in at about $3.5 million because we were able to do it in-house with the local DPW on top of everything else that the DPW is responsible for: brush pickup, cleaning the streets, park pickup, etc. So I'd just like to give a big thank you to Tom, Chantel, and the entire DPW. And finally, I'm very proud of this project and proud of the progress taking place in Oswego, but more than any one specific project or accomplishment, I think the thing I'm most proud of and proud of our team at City Hall for is actually being able to make government function and deliver real results and improve the lives of Oswego residents. Nothing to me is more frustrating than a stagnant government or a government who is happy just keeping the status quo and go along to get along and enjoy life as you see it, and that's the extent of it. When we took office 5-6 years ago, and every day since, we come to City Hall as a team and try to push this community forward and try to think about how can we make this city a better place than it was yesterday, and what decisions can we make today that will improve the lives of our neighbors 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 50 years from now. And I think when you see the progress we're making and the results that we're delivering, I think that you can see that our goals and our vision for this community is about just that. It's about trying to improve the lives of our neighbors, trying to make this city a better place than it was 5-10 years ago, trying to set us apart from other municipalities along Lake Ontario and throughout Central New York, and try to attract more people to want to live, work, and raise a family here in Oswego. So thanks to our partnership, not just at the Marina, but in other areas with state government, we were able to deliver a product like this and deliver for the people. Oswego residents now have a marina to be proud of. Businesses have an economic tool along the waterfront they can play on and use to draw more people to their business. Boaters have a premier marina to launch their boats. Charter captains have a superior marina to use as their place of business, and Oswego's waterfront is better developed and more of an attraction than it has ever been before. All because we dealt a disaster in 2017. State government, local government, and all the stakeholders came together, took advantage of an opportunity, and delivered for the people. That's what it's all about. So thank you for being here, and let's cut the ribbon.
That concludes the speaking part of our program today. I'd like to once again thank everybody for coming. I'd like to now invite from our speaking program the Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Barlow, Commissioner Tito, and Mr. Hennessy to line up near our ribbon cutting so we can officially open up Wright's Landing Marina. Let's get everybody assembled. We'll count it down from 5.
Okay.